Academy of Art University's Urban Nights update is next. Coming up, another campus attack, this one involving a car and a knife.
The hate letters being sent to Muslim mosques from a person who claims to be a Donald Trump supporter.
It's the holiday season, and that means a lot of good cheers and volunteers. You'll be surprised at the number of volunteers who show up to help out.
And a close look at a workout that's fun and sexy, pole dancing. All that and more coming up on Urban Nights Update.
Hi there, and welcome to the Academy of Art University's Urban Nights Update. Vanessa Salas is joining me. I'm Winton Pettis. A 20-year-old student is dead and 11 people are injured after a terrifying attack at Ohio State on Monday morning. Police say 20-year-old Abdul Artan drove a car into a group of people on campus and attacked 11 people with a butcher knife. Police shot and killed him. The injured people are all expected to survive. Artan was an honor student at the university and immigrated from Somalia. He was alone during the attacks, and police are still trying to determine the motive behind them.
We're going to do something a little different here at Urban Nights Update. With so much violence in the world, we'd like to share a very personal story with you. 2 months ago, my 23-year-old brother was at the wrong place at the wrong time and was shot while at a party. Even though he survived, the bullet has left emotional scars on him and all of his family. We want to warn you that there are some graphic images, but we believe the story is an important one and gives a face to the impersonal gun violence stories we all hear about all too often. According to the USA Gun Violence Statistics, 30 people get shot and murdered every day. Obet Salas happened to be one of the victims that was fortunate to survive. Shootings can occur anywhere and anytime unexpectedly, just like the shooting of Obet Salas occurred just a couple feet away from me.
Before I know it, I was on the floor bleeding out. On the floor, I just remember seeing lights, friends trying to help me out, screaming, sirens. And I woke up in the hospital. When I awoke, I had tubes everywhere. I was lost. I remember I couldn't breathe. My vision was blurry. I seen just people everywhere. I didn't recognize anybody.
When I first found out that my brother was in the hospital, I felt sad and shocked.
I was scared. I had tubes in my nose, side of my throat, my back. I couldn't feel my right leg. All of this was just numb. I had a very big incision going down from the top of my chest down to the pubic area. The bullet went from the right buttocks to the front of the pubic area. So I had about maybe 4 surgeries total. For you to take out of this is violence is always going to be around. You just got to be aware of who you're with, what you're doing. As far as the guns, I mean, I think it's so easy for someone to just go get a permit, and before you know it, you have a gun. And you can just get angry, or in my case, and just start shooting, and I've done nothing wrong, but the bullet just chose me, and it's affected me in so many ways, and it's changed my life. I cannot go back to what being normal. And luckily for me, I didn't die. As for other people who haven't been so lucky, it's death. It can bring death to you just as easily as one shot. That's it, you're done.
Obet's wife explains how she felt about the incident.
Yes, I believe my husband was at the wrong place at the wrong time. It happened to anybody. I think everybody in general should be precautious of their surroundings, of the places they attend, anywhere.
Over the past month and a half, Obet has shown progress and finds his strength within his family. With his first-time experience in gun abuse, he uses his story to inform others on the seriousness of gun violence. In San Bernardino, Vanessa Salas, Urban Nights Update. Obet will be having a kidney surgical procedure on his right kidney within the next 2 weeks.
It's a week of mourning for Cubans after the death of Fidel Castro over the weekend. For many, the 90-year-old former prime minister was the only leader they knew. Having ruled in Cuba for half a century, Even those oppressed by Castro are showing respect, including the Damas de Blanco, an opposition movement that usually marches every Sunday, but this time remained inside for fear of retribution. It is somewhat ironic that the first commercial airplane flight from Miami to Havana since relations between the two countries were restored happened Monday morning. It seems the election may not be completely over. News has come out that Clinton campaign is doing a recount led by Green Party candidate Jill Stein. The recount is to be held specifically in Wisconsin, along with Pennsylvania and Michigan, which are likely to have recounts as well. After hearing this, President-elect Donald Trump has explained on Twitter that he would have won the popular vote if it wasn't for voter fraud in Virginia, New Hampshire, and California. There is no evidence that millions of people voted illegally in those states, as he claims. In California, hate letters have begun arriving at mosques and Muslim organizations. The Council on American Islamic Relations stated that a photocopied letter had been sent to several Islamic centers throughout the state, including Long Beach, Claremont, and San Jose. The letter contained statements that Donald Trump would cleanse America and get rid of Muslim communities, along with other hateful words directed towards Muslim people. As a result, the council has called for more police protection of mosques throughout California.
Holiday sales have been blooming over the past couple of years. According to the National Retail Federation and Proper Insights and Analytics, deep discounts wooed more than 154 million shoppers from Thanksgiving Day through Sunday this year. That's up 3 million from last year. It has also been a record for tech sales. According to the Consumer Technology Association, nearly 62 million Americans have bought our plan to buy technology products over the big holiday sales week. The top technology purchases are TVs, tablets, smartphones, and video game consoles. The holiday sale season is attracting many Americans to come out to shop. However, some worry that the holiday spirit has been taken away by Black Friday. Here is Samantha Hing for more.
Black Friday is a seasonal shopping holiday the day after Thanksgiving. In-store and online retailers are having big sales for customers to prepare for Christmas. This holiday has drew a lot of people to sell and buy a bundle of markdown items. The number of customers increases over the years.
And I can't really even say if they was on sale or not. All I know is it was Black Friday, because I really don't know much about Black Friday my damn self. So I'm just like, damn, all these movies is like cheap because today is Black Friday. So I'm just like, damn. And it was like Christmas time too, so I bought like a lot of Christmas movies, bought a lot of like holiday songs.
Black Friday deals are considered some of the best of the year, but it is hard not to spend money on. Some are wondering if the deals are taking away from the Thanksgiving holiday. On Black Friday itself, 74.2 million shopped and spent on per person is $299 in 2015. Due to the understaff of stores, it could cause overcrowding. It would also cause an extreme health risk to its shoppers.
One of my least favorite things about Black Friday, just in general, is the fact that it's the day after Thanksgiving. One of the times a year that, being from the Midwest and having a Midwestern upbringing, I feel like Thanksgiving is like one of those times where you should be around your family constantly and be able to, be thankful for, your family in the end of it, because honestly, they've all you got in the world. So I feel that Black Friday being the day after Thanksgiving and having, all these people just show up and just basically throw money at corporations that don't really care about them.
In San Francisco, I'm Samantha Hing for Academia Arts University Urban Nights Updates.
For the first year ever, about 10 million more people shopped online than in stores. Seeing that e-shopping is the future, traditional retailers have been pouring billions into their e-commerce offerings.
Hundreds of volunteers around California are suiting up to give hot meals to all those in need. Radio station KPCC in Southland created a list to show people how to become a great pro-volunteer. It's as simple as 1, 2, 3. Find an opportunity that's appealing to you from the start. Wear the right clothing and don't bring valuables. Know who your point person is, always ask questions, but most importantly, register in advance. Speaking of volunteers, over 100 volunteers lined up this past Thanksgiving at the Meals on Wheels Central Texas building to give food to the elderly. Among the volunteers were a few famous faces. Both Texas Governor Greg Abbott and actor Matthew McConaughey were spotted helping spread love and spend time to those in need. McConaughey says, "They don't know who I am. They don't know I'm in movies or anything. I just introduce myself as Matthew, and they're just happy that someone has taken the time out on Thanksgiving to come by and bring the meal." Even celebrities during the holiday season are reminded that we are fortunate to live the lives we have. In the Bay Area's Alameda County, I went out to find out how others are helping lend a hand through the community.
No matter where you are, volunteering in your community has always had a positive outcome for the people. Through volunteering, you gain an understanding on how life can be hard for other families and people. So why is it that during the holidays there's an increase in those willing to lend a hand? According to the U.S. Department of Labor, over 62.6 million Americans volunteered through or for an organization in 2015, which is roughly a 25% volunteering rate. Now from November to December in 2015, that percentage went up as high as 30%. To try and find an understanding, we talked to a regular volunteer from Alameda County.
I think volunteering is great. It gives you a sense of pride and purpose. Having the opportunity to give back to those who really need it is great. Even going to your local food bank or shelter, helping out does a lot for someone who doesn't really get it like that throughout the rest of the year. And, doing your part is very important.
By being a regular volunteer, it seems they get the moral victory, but let's see how the county and organization feel about holiday volunteers.
As being a county employee, any volunteers that we get are appreciative, but especially during the holidays, we could really use more volunteers, and I think we do get them because we service a lot of families with small children, single parents, and the parents may be depressed during the holiday time because they can't provide for their children. So here's a place where they can go and get food and toys and some kind of assistance to help them with their kids. So when you volunteer, it's always appreciative, but especially during the holidays, it's needed because there's a greater need than on a day-to-day basis.
Though more people show up around the holidays to volunteer, the organization and county don't mind at all and appreciate any hand that is lent to help. From Oakland, California, I'm Winton Pettis with your Urban Nights Update.
Again, no matter where you live, there is always someone in your community that needs a helping hand. You can volunteer at your local food bank or shelters.
If you have no time to be a volunteer, you can also give a helping hand by donating your money to charity. The lead researcher for the Millennial Impact Project, Derek Feldman, says millennials also exhibit philanthropic tendencies. They are using new technology and online methods for giving. The new technology is easy because they just need one mouse click to give. Millennials usually give to children's charities, human rights organizations, and international development causes. Donald Trump has made clear his feelings toward student loans and that he wants to make schools more affordable. His campaign ideas consist of income-driven repayment on loans and private banks issuing federal student loans. This would result in students out of college only having to pay a maximum of 12% of their income towards paying off their student loans. A student is then allowed enough time to find a job and start paying back loans after getting employed.
Many students across the nation are disappointed to find out that a promised student loan forgiveness program turned out to be a scam. In 2016, the U.S. Department of Education said that over 300,000 Americans could be eligible for this program due to disability. Leaving out that key bit of due to disability, the story featured on isupportforgiveness.org got many to call a direct line. The company responsible identified themselves as EDU Loan Servicing and is not listed as a federally approved student loan service.
The Zika virus has found its way to Texas, the second state after Florida to report the disease. A 43-year-old woman from Brownville who is not pregnant is the first known patient in Texas. She says she has not traveled to any area with Zika problems and has no other risk factors. Officials aren't surprised that someone has been infected. Brownville is just across the border from Mexico, where there have been many outbreaks. County and state health officials are conducting door-to-door Zika screenings in a 20-block area where she lives, but for other time being, are not issuing any other warnings alerts for pregnant women. More health concerns are now surrounding diet soda. A study done by a Harvard researcher tracked users of diet soda and compared them to non-users. It was found that diet soda drinkers were often heavier. Researchers say that low-calorie sweetener may often affect abdominal fat and cause growth in fat. This is also a strong risk factor in heart disease and death.
Here at AAU, we have many talented students involved in a variety of activities. Samantha Hing joins us with a student who might be called a Renaissance man.
Hi guys, I'm with Keniva Bokhari. How are you doing today, Ken?
Good, and yourself?
Pretty good. So tell me about how do you juggle being a semi-pro soccer player while studying academy arts? And which team do you play on?
I play for the SF Celtics over on what's that thing called? Near Balboa Park. It's pretty cool, honestly. I enjoy it a lot. Met a lot of great guys this year. We had a cool season, had a good run towards the playoffs, but we lost in the second round. Honestly, just trying to keep myself in shape now and then manage school at the same time. But yeah, it was pretty hard doing school and soccer outside of school. It was pretty hard because, I mean, you have to worry about going to practice every day, and they don't know my schedule like that. So, like, sometimes when I had to come in for, like, extra practices or extra weights, I could miss class, so I had to, like, obviously put school before soccer and everything like that. But, I mean, it was fun. It was cool being able to juggle all those things. I definitely got my priorities straight and became more organized with that.
Have you done any internships before you started directing your own videos?
Yeah, I did an internship for this girl. Her name is Marissa. She has her own little company called Pass the Ball. So I shot videos for her over the summer, and also for Omar. He's a guy, he does Elite IQ Hoops. He's a basketball trainer. They're both basketball trainers, and I was an intern for both of them, being able to shoot videos for them. It was like a small business internship, though. They paid me for the videos that I did, and it was fun.
What makes you different than other students, athletes in the school?
The fact that I play outside of our school and with a sport that I could play at school, I think that makes me kind of different, and that I do a lot of like stuff outside of school other than like, I mean, obviously I do my schoolwork, but I do a lot of stuff outside of school to, really take the abilities that I have here to the next level, so I'm not always like lacking and stuff like that.
Do you have any advices for students who are trying to pursue their career and being an athlete at the same time?
Just manage your time and make sure that school comes first. That's like the most important thing, is that school comes first, and make sure you stay in touch with let your teachers know, talk to your teachers, make sure your teachers are, and know that you're doing sports and doing school at the same time, and honestly just keep grinding, stay motivated.
Thank you, Ken, for coming into the studio. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Samantha. Let's check in with Priscilla Mora, who has our latest scores and updates in AAU sports.
Hi, and welcome to this week's latest in AAU sports. We have many highlight and spotlight athletes that we want to recognize. So let's take a look at our Knights of the Week.
For our first night of the week, we have graduate and All-American Joshua Thorson, who took 42nd overall at the National NCAA Cross Country Meet. And right behind Thorson, we have teammate and our second night of the week, Chris Everett, who took 55th place overall at the NCAA National Cross Country Meet.
It has been 2 weeks since the men's cross country team made history. Taking 11th place at the National NCAA Division II Cross Country Meet has made them more motivated than ever. PacWest Runner of the Year and All-American Joshua Thorson tells us about his experience at Nationals.
I think we were close to around 100th at the first 1,000 meter, and I think actually after that people continued to pass us for another 1,000 or 2,000. So I think by like the 3,000 we were like 120th, something like that. But that was right about where you could tell a lot of people started to feel it, because like that first 1,000 was at least, it was probably about 20 seconds faster than the average K was supposed to be, which is pretty like significant. And on top of that, right around after 3,000 meters, there was a huge uphill. And so that was where I think me and Chris started moving up.
The men's cross country team is now looking to kick off their track season on January 13th at the Spartan Invitational. And now looking into the women's basketball team, they started off 0-4 but had a huge turning point this past weekend at the Cal State East Bay Thanksgiving Tournament. They went 2-0 at the tournament, defeating Humboldt State and Cal State East Bay. The Knights added 9 new players to their roster at the beginning of the season. Head coach Lene Larson believes that all 9 players can make an instant impact to the program.
I think this team has come a long ways in a short amount of time with 9 new faces. It always takes a little bit for the chemistry, but they've done a really good job. They have a really high basketball IQ, and so it's been easier to transition into the things that we want to do this year. So they've really picked up on things quick.
The men's basketball team faced 2 tough losses this weekend, falling to the 19th team in the nation, Chico State, and barely falling to the Pioneers of Cal State East Bay. However, they have not lost sight of their ultimate goal. Senior guard Herman Pratt IV believes that they need a look ahead past these losses and keep their eyes on the main goal.
This year, we have a lot of new bodies, a lot more bodies, so we can have a lot more people running up and down. We have people that do the job, so that's going to help us out in postseason and more like that. Cause that's our main goal right now, is to get better and get to postseason for like the first time in school history.
Both of AAU's basketball teams have faced many challenges throughout the preseason, but they are ready to begin their conference play as they host their first conference game next Monday against BYU Hawaii. The women's team will start at 5:30 with the men's following up after at 7:30. For live coverage, visit ruathletics.com. Thanks for tuning in to this week's latest in RU Athletics. See you back next time.
Thanks, Priscilla. Speaking of sports, here is an easy exercise you can do at home. There is a new fitness trend coming. It is crawling like a baby. How can crawling be a new fitness trend? Personal trainer and Lululemon ambassador Allie Gray explains crawling can help improve blood pressure levels and be beneficial for your back. It will be interesting to see if this trend catches on. Let's take a look at Beatrice Martinez, who has in store for us our entertainment news.
Thank you, Vanessa. Welcome to this week's entertainment. We have a lot going on, so let's jump right into it. Over Thanksgiving weekend, Disney's Moana bumped Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them down to number 2 in this week's box office. Moana, the Polynesian princess, sets out on a mission to save her people. Along the way, she meets the once mighty demigod Maui, who helps guide her across the open ocean as they encounter huge monsters. Moana ends up discovering one thing she always desired, her own identity. Let's take a sneak peek.
For generations, this peaceful island has been home to our family. But beyond our reef, a great danger is coming. Legend tells of a hero who will journey to find the demigod Maui. And together, they will save us all.
The romantic thriller Allied is also another box office hit. Max and Marianne are World War II operatives who never reveal their true identities. The two end up falling in love during a risky mission and have to leave their past behind them and start new lives. However, danger only seems to strike their marriage.
I'll take the couch.
You'll sleep on the roof. In Casablanca, that's where husbands go. They're watching us. Now kiss me.
Said you were beautiful and good.
Being good at this kind of work is not very beautiful.
After the war, you have a place?
When the war is over, it won't matter where I am.
We found each other. Come with me to London. Come with me and be my wife.
I love you with all my heart.
There's no easy way to say what we're about to say.
We suspect your wife is a German spy.
It's insane. If you are right, all this will be forgotten. But if she is...
You will execute her with your own hand, and if you do not comply, you'll be hanged.
Moving Moving on to our top 5 songs this week on the Hot 100, the song that is known to be in everyone's mannequin challenge this year, Black Beatles by Ray Shremmerd, is number 1. Coming in second is Closer by the Chainsmokers and Hazley, who made the crowd go wild performing their new hits at this year's American Music Awards. Third is Starboy by The Weeknd, who recently received 3 nominations at the AMAs. Fourth is Side by Side by Ariana Grande featuring Nicki Minaj. And last but not least, fifth is Heathens from Suicide Squad, the album created by 21 Pilots. Also, Chance the Rapper recently announced that he is working on his debut album, so who knows, one of his songs could possibly make it in the top 5 songs on the Hot 100 one day. Well, I hope you all enjoyed. That is all for this entertainment segment. Join us next time.
Thanks, Beatrice. Are you looking for something to spice up your life with fitness and dance? Pole dancing is the new age of art movement. Samantha Hing has more on this story.
Pole dancing has a history of having girls dancing on the pole for the purpose of luring men in the strip clubs and nightclubs. However, pole dancing took a big turn as a form of fitness and exercise, helping to tone up your body as a whole. It will bring out the shadows and fitness studios to show women how empowering and fun it can be to twist, twirl, and be sexy, all while getting a fantastic workout.
The way that pole dancing focuses on empowerment of women, but I think that's almost the wrong word because, well, almost the wrong phrase because both men and women do our sport. And also, well, it started as this kind of like movement to empower women to own their sexuality. The women and men who walk through my doors don't need to be empowered. They already are empowered. So they're looking for an outlet that lets them express themselves physically and artistically through movement. And I think when you look at other sports like ballet, like gymnastics, there's a very set pattern to how to do those sports. You take class 1 and then you move on to class 2 and you move on to class 3 and you move on to class 4. And on and on and on. And it's very much about the technique of the tricks.
Recreational pole dancing can be seen as empowering to women, and it can help women to feel positive about themselves. This is because pole dancing helps to build confidence, power, and it's a way to express oneself.
I started in pole fitness because I was looking for a routine that helps me to combine strength, coordination, flexibility, and that it's something fun to do in a community. So I decided to try different aerial acrobatics activities, and I chose pole because it was a fantastic workout, but it's also a lot of fun to practice as well.
In San Francisco, I'm Samantha Hing for Academy of Arts University Urban Nights Updates.
Sure looks like a real workout. Well, that's it for this edition of Academy of Art University's Urban Nights Update. I'm Winton Pettis.
And I'm Vanessa Salas. For everyone here, thanks for joining us. See you back next time.